Good morning on this July 3rd, Thursday, July 3rd. I'm meteorologist Byron Douglas. Mitch Casey will be along in a moment with the news. And we've been doing this for several weeks now. This is our streaming show, which we start at 8:30. I'm usually supposed to have 2 cups of coffee, but I'm sneaking in a third today. So maybe you're on your first coffee break at work. Maybe you're working a half day and you're going to be off. If you're traveling, you've already found us here at 14 WFIE. We welcome you. I spent a little more time here in the travel forecast. Generally, the only problems I see if you're flying up to New York City, Boston, those areas, maybe you're going up into New Hampshire, Manchester, and those areas up towards Concord, Maine, New England states, that's where that risk for severe weather is. But Atlanta, they had some nasty storms there yesterday. But they're in good shape right now at 81. Dallas had some rain there west. They've had a lot of rain in Texas this week. And Buffalo, some clouds there at 72. And get up on Facebook if you have comments, a travel forecast. It looks good for the fireworks displays for tonight, which will be taking place at Fairfield and then Fairfield, Illinois, Yellow Creek Park in Owensboro, and then into Henderson. So, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night, if you're willing to travel a bit, you can go around the area and see some fireworks. So, air quality alerts out in Colorado. That's the only setup. And then we'll take a look at some rain and storm chances. A passing shower. I saw a passing shower yesterday when I was walking in Warwick County. It's mainly just rain. And then next week we go into an unsettled pattern, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. We'll have more on that in a moment. And let's take a look at the risk for severe thunderstorms. A very quiet map. You go back the last 10 years, when you have that 30% chance most July days for afternoon and evening thunderstorms, they've gotten into the fireworks displays. But I think this year we're going to be in good shape. So for today, if you're traveling Wisconsin, Milwaukee up through Racine and then through La Crosse and then to about Minneapolis into Des Moines, a level 1 threat. The level 2 threats for Bismarck, North Dakota, then the Northeast. They've expanded that out to about central New York, and then I mentioned Boston and New York, down to about D.C., a level 1 threat. We're not at risk today for any thunderstorms. And on the 4th, if you're traveling or across our area, if you're out boating, no lake wind advisories, we're good to go. We always tell boaters to keep that 14 First Alert weather app handy or have a NOAA weather radio, but all the storms are up in Minneapolis, St. Paul. They come and hover along the U.S.-Canadian border in the month of July. And then into Saturday, we're not at risk for any thunderstorms. We might be under a general risk Sunday afternoon for a few storms. And then I think next week we'll have those chances for a level 1 or level 2 threat for a few severe storms, but that's off in the distance. Doppler radar, we had some fog issues this morning. We're in pretty good shape. Closest showers are down to Pine Bluff, Arkansas, then out to about McAllister, Oklahoma. Some showers there back through Dallas. See if I work the radar. Well, I'm going to work it up to the northeast. You get from Lake Champlain Plain there, Burlington to Albany, New York, Burlington, Vermont, down to Albany. A few showers there, but no lightning. But those storms will grow in number up to the northeast. And you got some showers out through Lake Havasu and then the South Rim out towards Flagstaff, Arizona, and then into portions there of Utah. All right, this day in history, Arden's going to have more. We'll have more coming up at noon. We'll have some additional factoids. But 1911 was a very hot year. Folks didn't have AC, but we had a record of 101. 1989. What is significant about the July 4th of 1989, we only had highs in the 80s, but the first 3 days of 1989 in July, we only had temps in the 70s, and then 1981, close to 2 inches of rain. Let's run down our current temps. 79 at Evansville, 76 in Madisonville. Humidity levels won't be too bad. I want to show you the dew point here in a moment, which we have up for you right now. This is pretty much where it will stay into the afternoon as well, between about 65 and 68. Usually we have dew points 70 to 73 here in July. So this is a little underneath the average. So maybe you noticed yesterday didn't feel too bad at all. Here's the heat index, not a big factor at all. For today, it's pretty much going to match the temperature. This is the 4th. This is the heat index now. Overall, it's going to pretty much match the temperature, and that's what you want here in the month of July. And this takes us into Friday evening. A very similar story on Saturday. The UV index, we get this question. Yes, it does have an impact on your pets out there. So do factor that in and spend some time there in the shade. Cloud guidance, interesting. We'll have these scattered cumulus clouds, 4,000 to 6,000 feet. I love that. This is one of my favorite maps to cloud charts, and then some cirrus clouds up at 25,000 feet. But suffice it to say, generally we'll be in that range of mostly sunny skies. And then a couple of hours into the afternoon when we go partly sunny. Let's make a stop in Madisonville, 88 there at 3, and then the upper 80s to near 90 as we go into the afternoon. Here's the 7-day forecast. I'm leaving the computer guidance out because we're not showing a whole lot. The one change that I made Saturday early in the week was looking breezy, but the winds are going to be light here the next 3 days. Of course, on the 4th, we'll be at 94, and pretty much the heat index will be hovering just above the actual temperature. I'll take this full so you can see it. And then next week, in fact, next week temperatures are going to be 88 Monday. It's not going to be, we're not looking at any heat advisories. 91 on Tuesday overall during that time frame. So we'll be into a more active pattern with those daily chances for showers and storms as we go through that time frame into next week. All right, Lacey, good morning. Watching from Henderson, traveling to Louisville. I think you're fine if you're traveling over to Louisville. You're going to be in good shape. Cindy, appreciate you tuning in. Hey, we got somebody, Teresa, watching from Charleston, South Carolina. That's on my list to take a golf trip to Charleston, South Carolina. Wow.
I'm going in August.
Casey, you're going there in a few weeks?
Ask your best place to eat.
All right, best place to eat. What's the best place, Teresa, if you want to? The best place to eat there. Asking for a friend. Casey wants to know. That's in Charleston, South Carolina. So we do have folks watching from afar. All right, now we're gonna get started here with the news. Otherwise, folks don't like to talk, so I'll just sit here and talk for the next 15 minutes for the folks that are chiming in. And the trip, if you're taking a trip over to Louisville, the only snag up there, if you're leaving tomorrow morning, maybe a little bit of fog and those low spots on Interstate 64 will be about it. So that's the latest. We're going to have Mitch and Casey up here. Casey will probably tell you about your trip, and are you heading to Charleston, South Carolina?
In August. Sorry, I didn't get it approved yet by you.
Oh, yeah, it hasn't been approved by management. All right, there we go.
Stay informed on your local news and weather throughout the day by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows. At 8:30 a.m., get your First Alert forecast to plan the day ahead and catch up on the news that happened overnight with the 14 News Sunrise team. In the afternoon, get the latest headlines, forecasts, and a preview of the stories we're working on with the 14 First Alert streaming show at 2:30. And get an in-depth look at the 14 First Alert forecast so you're ready for the next big thing with the 14 First Alert weather show at 9 p.m. Watch the 14 First Alert streaming show that fits your schedule and works best for you. Streaming on your phone by downloading the 14 News app and the 14 First Alert weather app. On your smart TV by using the 14 News streaming app. And stream anytime on Facebook, YouTube, or on 14news.com. Stay connected and stay informed by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows on your favorite streaming devices.
Well, good morning, and thanks for joining us here for the news portion of our 8:30 stream show. I'm Mitch Carter.
I'm Casey Mason. A little casual today as I was on assignment at the blood drive doing some live hits, but good morning. You held it down today by yourself.
I do what I can. We'll talk more about the blood drive later on here as well, but you want to get right into this thing?
Get right to our
It's
headlines.
Thursday,
Let's
July
rock and
3rd.
roll.
Of course, tomorrow is the 4th. So starting off here, we got a big time reminder from the Vandenberg Humane Society here ahead of Independence Day. While fireworks are, of course, fun for us to watch, those loud booms and bright flashes can, of course, be terrifying for your furry friends. That fear often leading to pets panicking, jumping fences, or even breaking windows. Humane Society officials say the day after July 4th is actually one of their busiest days for picking up pets who have been lost. And because of that, VHS is sharing some tips. They're saying to keep your pets home and inside, close your windows and doors, and consider playing calming music or the TV to try and mask sounds. They say scared animals can become destructive, so try to remove anything as well in your home that they could damage.
With the 4th of July coming up, that there are typically lots of pets who get lost and they're fleeing from the fireworks. So we're really just not sure how that's going to pan out, and we're hoping that most pets can be reunited in the field by individuals in the community rather than having to come to the shelter.
Now, she says there, if you're setting off fireworks at your house, never leave them unattended near your pets. And now is also a good time here to check and make sure your pets are wearing collars with up-to-date ID tags or microchips in case they decide to run off there.
Yes, great reminder. Keep an eye on our furry friends this holiday. Moving on, speaking of the holiday, looking ahead to the big day, there are a lot of events that are happening this week. We're going to start things off in Henderson. The city's fireworks show is happening tonight. Live music at Audubon Mill Park will kick off around 6:30, and then fireworks are at 9:15. And then tomorrow over in Evansville and Owensboro, they're both going to be hosting their fireworks displays. Both of those are scheduled to launch from barges off the Ohio River, which is super cool if you've never seen
Very
that.
neat.
It's just around 9:15. Of course, it's got to get dark first, you know. And then on Saturday, the fireworks, they are back in Newburgh. All of these events, you guys, absolutely free to attend. Pretty
That's
cool.
our favorite. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Every year it's really neat there on the Ohio. And of course, speaking of kind of patriotism, that sort of stuff, we're kicking off a new series here at 14 News that will lead up to next year's 250th Independence Day of the United States of America. So it's called We the People. It'll be highlighting our local history here that shaped not only our community, but also the country as a whole. So Evansville, of course, played a huge role in World War II, right? That's why we're kicking off this series with a, pardon me, I have the wrong video up
Pulled
there.
up the
that
wrong
is
video
not
for you
the
guys.
LST.
Just kidding. Hey, we do this ourselves.
Yeah,
we
we're in
told
here
you
doing our
guys.
very best. Evansville played a huge role in World War II. It's kicking off this series, right, with a 30-minute special tomorrow on the LST 325. You can catch it. It's called We the People, celebrating LST 325. It's tomorrow night right here on WFIE at 6:30. And if you missed that, you can watch it Saturday at noon. So if you're going out to see the fireworks, don't worry, you can also catch it on Saturday once you wake up from that. So, yeah, it should be really, really cool. I've got a story in there. I know Jamie French does as well. We've put a lot of work into that, getting things started off here. So keep in mind there with the We the People thing, celebrating next year America's 250th birthday. We'll talk more about that as the time goes on here and look for some more stories from us here at 14 News, kind of going over all things patriotism in the U.S.
Yeah, I've actually kind of got to lean over your shoulder and see a little bit of you working and editing that, because we don't just host and shoot, we also edit as well
Shoot
out
our
here.
videos, edit them.
And it looks great so far. I hope you guys definitely be sure to tune in. You put a lot of hard work into it.
Thank
Jamie
you.
French as well, and of course our photography team. Moving on, we have another event to let you know about that's happening right now. So let's pop up. This is the video for
That's
that
what we wanted
story.
right
Here we
here,
go.
yeah.
This is about today's blood drive that's taking place. Just a reminder, it's the Celebrate Freedom blood drive. It's going on right now until 4 o'clock this afternoon. So you can head over to the American Red Cross location. That's over on Stockwell Road, right off the Lloyd Expressway. You can stop by or you can schedule an appointment. I think they had plenty of spots open. They were,
Yeah.
I think when we last talked out there, they were about at half capacity of where they'd like to be with those appointment slots. So swing by or book your time. If you do want to schedule an appointment, you can find a link to do that over on 14news.com. And of course, I was live out there this morning. Lots of fun seeing folks come in. They had some nifty gifties and sweet treats. They had Parlor Donuts, I believe, donated. They're incredible, massive donuts
Yes.
for folks. And then all the information there on your screen. We're going to kind of hold that for a second if you guys need to take a look at that. But they also said Texas Roadhouse is going to be there around this afternoon for lunch. And then
Sweet.
I know Jamie French, I did our live hits out there this morning, which is why I got to wear my cool 14 News polo for the first time. Jamie French is going to be out there at 11. So I'll be anchoring the 11. And so we'll get out to her and kind of see what the latest is. But there were some folks out there bright and early this morning when I went. You've been there before.
I've been there before. Yeah, I've done this kind of thing. We talked about this yesterday as well before you went out there. The whole shtick, I'm telling a quick story here, the joke always is that if you're reporting live at that, you got to do a stand-up where you're live giving blood. And they asked me to do it last year, and I was like, yeah, I could do that. As soon as I sat down, before they put the needle in, I was like, I'm going to pass out. So never mind. Too much pressure.
It's one thing to give blood, but to give blood while being live on television, that's a little difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, our job's not that hard, but that is an added element that you don't want to maybe mix for the first time. Good call.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got the chance to talk with the incredible 14 legend Beth Sweeney, who I grew up watching in the mornings and I hear just, throughout the years. And she has a great job. It's an important job, important work that they do out there. Got the chance to see Beth. She says hi.
Sweet. Hi, Beth.
Beth did a great job of breaking down what we need to know. And just one thing I want to add that she said today, because I like to talk on this. She said that really the summertime is one of their worst seasons for donations. A lot of people run to give blood, maybe for the first time, even when we have a big disaster. But she said it's those odd time of year when we're all thinking about the cookouts and relaxing. And she said, so now if you really, if you can make it out there today, you're not just celebrating the holiday, you're celebrating saving lives. So
No
it's a
doubt.
great event.
Absolutely.
Let's
really quick
get to
here.
these comments.
I've been waiting on
comments
this.
Today.
I know.
We're
Thank
so
you, guys.
excited. We're very easy to thrill here. So go ahead and take one away. What do you see?
I know we're still waiting to hear from Teresa. She's still watching about the best places to eat in
Teresa.
South Carolina. We appreciate you saying hi from there. That's kind of neat in Charleston. Good morning, Eric and Lacey and Alice.
Hello.
I know Lacey says, good morning. Planning to travel to Louisville to watch our sister station at Wave. Appreciate that. We love them down there in Louisville. And, of course, Alice, absolutely. Stay home and stay cool.
Yes.
It is.
Amen.
It's certainly not our alert week we had last week, but it's still certainly warm out there. It's very much July, kind of the thick of summer right now. If you're gonna go out and enjoy the fireworks, drink water, do that kind of stuff. I know something kind of interesting is what we didn't talk about here, but I believe tomorrow night for the fireworks on the Evansville Riverfront is when they start off the Dora, which is that designated drinking
Yeah.
area outside. So you can go try that out if you're of age, of course. Go out there, and I know they
Make
do
sure
one like
that-
in Cincinnati where you can
That's neat.
grab a drink and walk around outside and enjoy the fireworks there. So that should be really neat as well.
I'm going to hop over to our YouTube 14 News page real
Smart.
quick to see if there's any comments over there, because I got in trouble the other day. My brother-in-law had commented from the 14 YouTube stream, and then yesterday my husband Will said, oh, I left a comment, and I said,
We keep
one
missing
day
'em.
we didn't check YouTube, so, oh,
They're not on
we're
there.
safe. Not again. You Facebookers are holding it down for
Appreciate
us.
y'all.
So yeah, again. Oh, by the way, Teresa Bradley that said hi from Charleston, South Carolina. I haven't got it approved through management or this guy yet, but I think in August I may be sneaking away for a few days to go down to Charleston and check it out. So just a little mini getaway. And yeah, let me know if you have any good restaurant suggestions, because that's really my favorite
Yeah,
thing. Is
absolutely.
to,
Nice
to
place.
eat. Yeah, thanks again, everybody. Like, Eric Johnston, like you said hello and good morning. And then, of course, Lacey. And yeah, we appreciate that. Makes us happy when we have people to talk to. That's why we're doing this.
That's right.
So,
That's right. Right now, though, it is, what is that, 8:47 on the time? I think
8:47.
that's going to do it for us here this
Yeah,
morning on
let's
our
go take our lunch
Thursday
break.
edition. Yeah, we're going to go eat. So I think we got to pick up our digital guy from the car shop right now. I'm going to go take care of that for him here. And then,
we're not just coworkers.
that's
We're
right.
family.
It's family here at 14 News. We'll be back here tomorrow morning at 8:30. Have a great rest of your day. If you need some more streaming action, they'll be here at 2:30. That's Robinson Miles and Jamie French, along with the meteorologist, doing kind of the same thing for you every afternoon at 2:30. But as for us, we will see you bright and early tomorrow. Enjoy the day. Stay cool. Stay hydrated. All that good stuff. And then, enjoy your third.
Yeah, and thank you guys for catching on to this. We love when you join us live at 8:30. And for those of you seeing this posted a little bit later today, we hope you have a great rest of your Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow.